Ferrari 12Cilindri, for the few. The Ferrari 12Cilindri, Maranello's new two-seater berlinetta powered by a mid-front-mounted, naturally aspirated V12, was launched today. The Ferrari 12Cilindri is the perfect embodiment of the Prancing Horse DNA, offering incomparable performance and handling with sophisticated, sculptural design. Aimed at connoisseurs of the iconic V12 engine, the 830 CV Ferrari 12Cilindri is inspired by the Ferrari Gran Turismo cars of the 1950s and 60s, race-bred driving thrills combined with versatility. The presentation took place during an exclusive event at Miami Beach, Florida, USA. Miami Beach, USA, May 3, 2024. There has been a single leitmotif that has been thrilling prancing horse enthusiasts since 1947. The naturally aspirated, mid-front-mounted V12, the very first Ferrari engine to roar its way through the factory gates in Maranello. Unveiled today to public and media against the spectacular backdrop of Miami Beach in celebration of the 70th anniversary of Ferrari's arrival on the American market, the Ferrari 12Cilindri is the natural evolution of the company's uncompromising powertrain philosophy, which over the decades has continued to develop without ever straying from its original DNA and the marque's core values. The Ferrari 12Cilindri is inspired by the legendary Grand Tours of the 1950s and 60s, embodying the front-mounted Ferrari V12 two-seater mission with its effortless combination of elegance, versatility, and performance. The car represents the latest evolution in this bloodline and continues that unique legacy, elevating it towards new standards in performance, comfort, and design. Its silhouette exudes sportiness and class. Simple yet harmonious lines feature an integrated active aerodynamic device to guarantee peerless performance, a front-hinged bonnet that exalts the view of the engine bay, and the two twin tailpipes that have become a signature of Ferrari's 12-cylinder cars. The Ferrari 12Cilindri's engine is the latest development of the iconic V12 that laid the foundations for the Maranello legend, in this version unleashing 830 CV and with maximum revs rising to a heady 9,500 RPM. The impressive power curve ensures 80% of total torque is already available at just 2,500 RPM, resulting in instantaneous pickup for maximum accelerator response and a feeling of never-ending power all the way to the red line. The Ferrari 12Cilindri's cockpit guarantees superb comfort for both driver and passenger, even on long journeys. Its feeling of airiness and space is heightened still further by a glass roof, prestigious materials, and a central display in addition to one for the driver and a third ahead of the passenger. The Ferrari 12Cilindri is aimed at driving enthusiasts, but also at those who demand new standards of performance, comfort, and design. Long-standing Ferraristi, loyal to the unique emotions that only the Ferrari V12 can deliver, as well as new clients dreaming of combining comfort and Italian design with exhilarating driving pleasure. The Ferrari 12Cilindri is designed for connoisseurs with a very clear vision of what Ferrari's DNA has always been, truly making it a car for the few. Powertrain. The F140 HD engine equipping the Ferrari 12Cilindri is the new version of the iconic naturally aspirated Ferrari V12, the purest expression of Ferrari's soul. Its peerless performance, powerful soundtrack, and exclusivity make it the worthy heir to the legendary berlinetta sports cars that wrote some of the most glittering chapters in the marque's history. The engine can unleash up to 830 CV, while its max revs have been increased to 9,500 RPM by adopting challenging and innovative solutions. The engine features modified components and software, some of which were already adopted on the Special Series 812 Competizione, ensuring it tops its category in terms of performance. To allow the V12 to rev so high, the engineers worked to reduce the weight and inertia of the engine's components, adopting titanium con rods, which guarantee a saving of 40% in rotating mass compared to steel with the same mechanical resistance. A different aluminum alloy was used for the pistons, making them lighter than on previous applications. Further weight reduction was gained by the adoption of a rebalanced crankshaft, which is 3% lighter. The valve train with sliding finger followers is derived from Ferrari's unparalleled experience in Formula One and was developed specifically for the V12 with the aim of reducing mass and availing of more high-performance valve profiles. The sliding finger follower, which is steel with a diamond-like carbon DLC coating, transmits the action of the cam to the valve using a hydraulic tappet as the pivot for its movement. The use of DLC reduces the coefficient of friction at critical points, significantly improving the mechanical efficiency of the engine. Most of the modifications focused on optimizing torque delivery in all operating conditions. The result is an engine with exhilaratingly smooth, seamless response that delivers peak power at the red line. The manifold and the plenum layout is now very compact. Shortening the length of the tracts and optimizing the cam profiles allows power to be unleashed at high revs, while the torque curve is optimized at all engine speeds by a system of variable geometry inlet tracts, which enables the length of the intake tract to be continuously varied to maximize the dynamic charge in the cylinder. For the very first time on a naturally aspirated engine, an innovative software strategy was developed that can modify the maximum torque available as a function of the gear selected. This gives the driver the feeling of smooth, progressive pickup as the transmission ratio increases, another vital factor in making the driving exhilaration delivered by the Ferrari 12Cilindri truly unique. A crescendo of never-ending acceleration and power delivery has been a signature of all Ferrari V12s. Now, innovative aspirated torque shaping, ATS, has allowed Maranello engineers to sculpt the torque curve in third and fourth gears using sophisticated electronic control that improves perception of the torque without impinging on acceleration, all to the benefit of driving pleasure. The introduction of new gear ratios furthermore keeps acceleration levels high and allowed the engineers to define a new torque curve shape for an aspirated engine. Optimizing the engine's mechanical efficiency and that of the lubrication circuit is critical to delivering blistering performance and low fuel consumption. The calibration of the variable displacement oil pump allows the oil to circulate throughout the entire engine and then be recovered along with the vapors from the sump. A solenoid valve, controlled by the engine ECU in a closed loop, is used to control the pump's displacement in terms of engine revs and pressure, delivering only the amount of oil required and thereby simultaneously saving a significant amount of energy. The new configuration of the oil tank and pump's hydraulic circuit reduces losses to a minimum and optimizes functionality in all operating conditions. The gasoline direct injection system, GDI at 350 bar, comprises 2 petrol pumps and 4 rails with pressure sensors that provide feedback to the pressure control system. The electronic injectors can also control up to 3 injections per engine cycle. The ignition system is constantly monitored by the engine control unit, which has a single and a multi-spark function. The ECU also controls combustion in the chamber to ensure that the engine is always working in peak thermodynamic efficiency conditions, using a sophisticated strategy that recognizes the octane rating of the fuel in the tank to avoid knocking. The new exhaust system, developed to allow the car to comply with the latest emissions requirements, EU 6E, China 6B, and BIN 50, introduces a ceramic catalytic converter coupled with a particulate filter. This is the most advanced emissions reduction technology available and involved lengthy calibration of the software strategies. Sound is pivotal to marrying the comfort, luxury, and exhilarating driving emotions typical of a Ferrari V12. To this end, every element of the intake and exhaust lines were optimized. Equal-length exhaust tracts, the 6-in-1 manifold for every cylinder bank, and the innovative design of the central sections has resulted in Ferrari's typical V12 howl that comprises all of the noble combustion orders. The perfect integration and calibration of high and low frequencies coming from the intake and exhaust systems respectively also influence the engine's timbre. The shape of the ducts and the internal fluid dynamics of the silencer baffles have been designed to reduce back pressure to a minimum, thereby improving power delivery. The geometry of the forms and curves of the exhaust system was also perfected to guarantee the very purest notes of the signature Ferrari sound all the way to the limiter. To guarantee that the soundtrack in the cabin is perfectly balanced, the intake tract was modified. Modifying the position of the resonators also changed the pressure waves, resulting in a richer range, particularly in terms of the middle frequencies. The result is a cleaner, more full sound in the cabin in all driving conditions, but especially in sportier situations. The Ferrari 12Cilindri sports the 8-speed DCT dual-clutch transmission that received such an unanimously rapturous welcome on other cars in the range, starting with the SF90 Straight-L. Thanks in part to larger tires on 21-inch rims, this solution delivers 5% shorter gear ratios in the lower gears and a 12% increase in torque at the wheels compared to previous V12 applications, all to the benefit of longitudinal performance under acceleration and gear shifting times, 30% faster than the previous V12 berlinetta applications. Performance under acceleration through the gears has been significantly improved, and the introduction of the 8th gear improves range and motorway driving. The 8-speed DCT thus both improves efficiency and is more engaging in all gears. Design. Exterior. With the Ferrari 12 Cilindri, Flavio Monzoni and the Ferrari Styling Center design team set out to radically transform the stylistic codes of Ferrari's previous mid-front engine V12s. The car, in fact, marks a clear departure from the sculptural language that characterized the 812 Competizione, for example, instead favoring a more sophisticated language that still retains the necessary formal design rigor to achieve a sense of stylistic unity. Clean lines dominate the car's geometry, underscoring the volumes that make up a seamlessly interconnected whole. The ultra-clean flanks sweep back along the entire car from a dihedral section. Although retaining a signature Ferrari sensuality, the wings have been sculpted with extreme geometric precision. All the lines are the result of intersections between the volumes, and a more functional approach to form has been taken that eschews nostalgia. The muscular rear wing is imposing, yet also perfectly controlled geometrically. On the front wing, that muscular tension extends slightly, coming to rest along the flank and further accentuating the car's monolithic aesthetic. The sculpted bonnet is extremely sleek and incorporates the front wings. Removing the cut lines from the wings gives a smooth, uninterrupted surface to the muscularity of the design, lending the entire bonnet a sense of ultra-clean fluidity, interrupted only by 2 vents to cool the engine bay. One of the objectives of the Ferrari 12 Cilindri was to explore design languages only tangentially related to the car world. The front has thus lost certain signature elements, such as the elongated form of the headlights and the traditional grille shape, in favor of geometries and intersections innate to the car's design. The headlights are integrated into a single wraparound band from which the DRLs emerge like blades. A similar approach has been taken with the rear architecture. Once again, rigor is the order of the day with the shape obtained by the subtraction of volume. Consistent with the front of the car, the taillights are set into a blade that traverses the entire, concave rear section and also provides what is possibly the Ferrari 12 Cilindri's real signature theme, demonstrating once again how cleverly the Ferrari Styling Center's designers are able to meld technical and functional demands with beauty. Instead of adopting a rear spoiler, the designers have used 2 active flaps integrated with the rear screen, creating a signature delta theme. The overall perception is of a seamless whole, creating the idea of a very high-tech form. The development of this concept allowed the designers to treat the Ferrari 12 Cilindri's cabin in a new way, tracing the frame of the surface and body color to echo the rear screen theme and integrate organically with the rest of the cabin, which itself is characterized by a black screen effect. The tail section ends in a very clean, monolithic volume and body color as well. The lower section, in black or carbon fiber, is characterized by the prominent diffuser keels over which the body almost seems to float. This area also includes the sensors and 2 twin tailpipes. The latter, comprising 4 elements altogether, also have a completely new shape, with a metal surround to reduce the perception of their size and create a more compact look. Cockpit. The design of the Ferrari 12 Cilindri's interior sees it split into 3 different levels. The first, dominated by the upper part of the dash, continues around to blend into the door panel trim. Next is the central area, while the third includes the footwells and seats. Each level is clearly defined, heightening the dual cockpit effect through the color and material combinations. These are used to create either an elegant or sporty look for the seats and other features. Ferrari's signature luxury and performance are flanked on the Ferrari 12 Cilindri by a focus on environmental sustainability. Extensive use has been made of sustainable materials such as Alcantara copyright containing 65% recycled polyester. The interior style takes its inspiration from the Prancing Horse's dual cockpit architecture. In recent years, that layout was used for the Ferrari Roma and Roma Spider, as well as the Ferrari Pirose. The Ferrari 12 Cilindri's cabin has an almost symmetrical structure comprising 2 modules for driver and passenger, and offering an astonishing standard of comfort and involvement in the driving experience. The dashboard extends horizontally, a fact underscored by a clear separation between the trimmed volumes in the upper section and the technical functions in the lower section. The upper section features 2 distinct binnacles dedicated to the driver and passenger instrumentation and to the climate control vents. A deftly elegant color and material change draws the eye to the two volumes separated by the body of the dash, which seem almost to float, further enhancing the feeling of lightness in this area. The panels of the central tunnel extend outward from the dashboard geometries, as if they were almost an extension of the latter. The trimmed area features a large sculptural gash emphasized by contrasting materials. The armrest is in the trimmed area of the tunnel and extends into the medallion area, revealing contrasting metallic edging that creates an elegant intersection between the volumes. The side section of the tunnel itself has been scooped out, again recreating that floating feeling. It is trimmed with luxury materials and also features a Y-shaped metal element into which the iconic gate shift has been set. On the Ferrari 12Cilindri, quality of life on board was one of the main drivers for the development of the bespoke interior's features. A new generously sized tinted glass roof has been incorporated, which significantly improves the airiness of the cabin and thus the feeling of space on board, ensuring optimum thermal efficiency in both summer and winter. In terms of design, the darkened glass roof is perfectly integrated into the upper part of the cabin, giving it an elegant and refined appearance and creating continuity between the windscreen and the rear screen. The Ferrari 12Cilindri introduces a new human-machine interface, HMI, comprising 3 displays that raise the Ferrari V12 Berlinetta onboard experience to new heights. All of the main functions can be controlled from the central 10.25-inch touchscreen capacitive display within reach of both driver and passenger. This is flanked by a 15.6-inch driver display showing all of the driving and vehicle dynamics information. Lastly, the passenger is always completely involved in the driving experience thanks to an 8.8-inch display that ensures they feel like a genuine co-driver. The car sports the capacitive steering wheel seen on all of the latest models in the range, featuring the indented buttons for ease of use. This means that command activations are more precise, instant, and intuitive even in sporty driving conditions. The Ferrari 12Cilindri comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto-based mobile connectivity systems as standard, both easily controlled from the new central display. A wireless charging mat on the central tunnel, as standard, makes phone charging simple too. Available as an optional on the Ferrari 12Cilindri is the high-end audio system developed in collaboration with Burmester, comprising 15 loudspeakers and unleashing a massive 1600W for a genuinely unprecedented in-car experience at any volume and any speed. The high frequencies are crystal clear and sparkling, thanks to ring tweeter technology which minimizes distortion. The powerful dual-coil subwoofer guarantees a wonderfully full, rich sound which, thanks to ultra-flat headliners, is all part of a 360-degree listening experience.